Do I think that Terence Crawford cheated? Absolutely. Boxing isn't regulated and the testing system is flawed. So I think that Terence Crawford felt as though he'll be able to, fly up under the radar. I don't think he expected that it would garner as much attention as it is now. And I also think that he didn't think that people would do their research on who Victor Conte was. He may have thought that people had forgot about Victor Conte and that Victor Conte had already been in the sport for a while. So nobody would even think to look into who's Victor Conte. But I think it backfired, and now it's starting to gain so much attention. Paulie Malignaggi stated that upwards of 80% of boxers are using PEDs. That's a really large percentage. I think it's kind of normal in boxing. You probably have, your handful of boxers who are doing it the natural and honest way. When Terence Crawford going into the Errol Spence fight, I don't think he expected for it to be that easy. I don't think he expected for Errol Spence to come in there and perform the way that he did. So when Errol Spence performed the way that he did, it made it look so much more obvious that Terence Crawford was on something. And you can look and tell, like, in my opinion, this is my opinion, studying body language, it almost looked as if Terence Crawford was conscious of the fact, like he was worried of would people believe this performance? Are they going to know? That's how I looked at it. Like I said, I could be wrong, but it's almost like he looked as if it's almost like, did I overperform? Like, did I make this performance look believable? Because Errol Spence is clearly by far a top 5 pound for pound fighter, whether people want to believe that or not. Because if he wasn't, Terence Crawford would have never went to work with Victor Conte in the first place. That's the one thing that irked my nerves, man. Biasness. I can't stand no bias like that's y'all, bro. What I really want to say on YouTube, I gotta keep in mind I'm trying to get to a bag. But the stuff I really want to say, bro, like it really irks my nerves how biased people are. If the roles was reversed, they would make an exception for Terence Crawford time and time again. This dude feet is never held to the fire by his fans. It's crazy. Errol Spence, whatever he does, Errol Spence could go online drinking a bottle of water. They say, look, Terence Crawford got this man drinking water. Look at this nigga drinking water now. It's like, damn, bro, like, Spence can't do nothing. If Spence would have been like, man, it was hard for me to, being out in Vegas, it was real hard for me to get acclimated to the Vegas weather. People would be like, look at him making another excuse. There you go. He just having a simple conversation about Vegas weather. They'd cut that, they'd chop it and say Errol Spence making an excuse. It's like, bruh, like, see, Terence Crawford fans don't even realize how much of Errol Spence fans they are. They support Errol Spence more than we do. They be at Errol Spence, bruh, they can't even have a conversation. If we talking about Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford solely, they always bring it back to Errol Spence. And they trying to convince me, he's trying to convince us that he's the face of boxing. They can't talk about Terence Crawford without mentioning Errol Spence. Y'all more Errol Spence fans than you even know. And it's crazy, bro. Like, Terence Crawford fans are encouraging Errol Spence to retire. They encouraging him to retire because they so concerned about his health. They don't want him to get brain damage. They don't want him to mess his eye up even more. So they're trying to force Errol Spence to retire. They want him to retire so bad, just leave the sport. Even Errol Spence coming to Instagram on his Instagram stories, when he initially announced that he had cataract surgery, they were saying that Errol Spence making excuses. He trying to get out the rematch. He wants to retire. He just wants to, get out of boxing. But Errol Spence just let it be known he's not trying to avoid the rematch. He's saying, like, I want the rematch. Like, he's hell-bent on getting a rematch. So he's not trying to retire when Terence Crawford fans are encouraging him to retire. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, now he's contemplating retirement, all because he believes that nobody appreciates his greatness. This is crazy. So his fans aren't going to call him weak. They ain't gonna call him sensitive. They ain't gonna call him soft because I'm gonna retire because nobody appreciate my greatness. That's like saying, man, nobody like me. Nobody appreciate what I'm doing around here, so I'm about to leave. But Errol Spence is saying, man, I already know niggas don't like me. I don't care. Your fans attack me every single day. Nobody has appreciated Errol Spence's greatness up until this point. They still saying that Errol Spence is overrated. He a one-trick pony. He's one-dimensional. Errol Spence has had to face so much criticism in terms of the pound-for-pound ranking. He automatically took a loss, erased from the pound-for-pound ranking. Errol Spence has no defense. He got no head movement. Errol Spence is trying to duck the rematch. Cataract surgery. He's an alcoholic. It go to show you how Errol Spence is a gladiator, bro. So you got one fighter who done took all this punishment, right? From it's supposed to be natural. Errol Spence standing on business. He like, I'm coming back. I want my rematch. I want my get back. Terence Crawford wants to retire, all because he believes that people don't appreciate his greatness. Like, come on, bro. And Terence Crawford fans aren't going to attack him and be like, man, you soft. Like, come on, bro. Spence got eye injuries. He had a rib injury. Like, this should make you respect Spence even more. We talking about excuses. Y'all say that Errol Spence robbed the fans. You should respect that man 10 times more for having the courage and having the guts for stepping in that ring. You know, he ain't robbed me because I ain't paying for the fight again. But at the same time, I'ma still support him. And I take that back because I just might buy the fight again. Just because I'm a Spence supporter. But that should make you honor and respect him 10 times more for getting in there with a rib injury. Most people can't even move with a rib injury, bruh. The man he's saying I had cataract surgery. Then Victor Conte even confirmed, the altitude affected him. He was weight drained. So this man going against all odds, all this is stacked up against him, and he still got in there with Terence Crawford. And he still want to come back after being beat up like that. That's a warrior, bruh. And y'all, come on, man. Look where we at in the world where we shaming the guy who has the courage and the heart to get back in there after he done got brutally beat. And on top of that, the mental health aspect of it. The fact that he had to take a loss and be embarrassed. And then people be like, man, he was talking trash and he ain't respect Terence Crawford. This is the same person, and Terence Crawford was poking fun at Errol Spence after his car accident. And we talking about he should be respected? What? So stop trying to act like Terence Crawford is all holier than thou. He's so Christian. And this is my only question to Terence Crawford fans. How much power is too much? If Terence Crawford has underrated power, 11 straight knockouts, he could deadlift 400, 500, 600 pounds in weights. He already spars bigger guys, light heavyweights, middleweights. His spar partner said the size don't matter. He has underrated power. Sean Porter stated that Terence Crawford power, it feels like being hit with a belt. Errol Spence, his power is overrated according to Terence Crawford fans. Errol Spence hasn't gotten any knockouts since Leonard Bundu. He couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia, a smaller guy. Terence Crawford was a smaller guy. So how much power is too much? Was he trying to meet Errol Spence in the middle? Was he trying to match Errol Spence's power? Or did he want to overpower? How much power is too much? Where do we draw the line? Or is there no line drawn? Because if we're not drawing no lines, then that means anything goes. If Errol Spence were to decide, got my surgery, Terence Crawford has to wait. If he just move as if he's going to age Terence Crawford out, is that a problem for him getting an advantage? That Terence Crawford going to be rusty? He's going to be old? He can wait till Terence Crawford turns 37, which he'll be 37 in September. Errol Spence could literally have a fight in November, in October, November. So would he be wrong to age Terence Crawford out and have him sitting out the ring? Because according to y'all, it's nothing wrong with getting a competitive advantage. So how much power is too much? If he goes to Victor Conte and say, all right, well, I can already match Errol Spence's strength. So he probably like, man, I want silverback gorilla strength. He was in there hitting like a gorilla, punching a human. So we're no longer advocating for fair fights.